And you have the 100-foot tape still.
So
I never had that.
I got it. I got it
Oh,
here.
he's got it.
Okay.
Good.
Today, we're squaring the timber frame. The snow's gone finally. Oh, not quite.
So this is the big culprit here, and this is what we need to figure out: is this post square, or is this, you know, kicked out at the bottom a little bit? And I guess bringing a level up would probably help too, you know, to check for plumb. We're actually pretty flush
Both ways there?
Well, actually, we need to come out. This one looks like it needs to come out just a hair on the bottom, and then it needs to come in a bunch. It's just a hair.
a hair.
About that much.
But you said it needs to go out on the
Yeah,
bottom.
it needs to go out on the bottom.
So yeah, so that'll work.
Ready? Yep. No.
Oh.
That's also how I land an airplane.
So first we have to take all of these GRKs, is that what they are?
Broke the frickin' screw.
Are you kidding me?
Screw the bit. The screw.
So now it's stuck in there? Wow. Just when I was thinking today was gonna be a good day.
Yeah.
I don't know, this is a really bad start.
We had one break over there when we were doing the sill plates.
Huh.
That does not increase my confidence in GRK fasteners like even.
Man, that's really bad odds.
Wow.
So did the head break off or what?
Snapped somewhere in the middle.
Oh, nice.
Deal.
Wow.
Might be a little bit of threads in the bottom of that post, but
So the majority of the screw is still in there and we're not getting it out.
yeah, it's like a splinter, and like you pluck the head out and now your life just
Or
got
like a
50
tick.
times harder. Or a
They
tick.
say if you pull the head off the tick or the butt and the head's still in there, it's a big deal.
So basically we have 8 inches of fudge on the sips. You can
Okay.
kind of think of it like that, because the sips basically connect to this post,
Right.
and they don't actually touch each other. So the sip is designed to hold back 1 inch. So if they go long, less than 1 inch, we're fine. And if they go short, just fill the gap with foam.
Tell me when.
Yeah, just a little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. Ooh, that's close. Maybe one more. I think that's good.
This is our get out of jail free card.
That moves really good. It's getting really close. So we're coming back out. So the
Right,
frame
a little bit
definitely
more?
wants to be where it was before. So like when we're hit that way, we're actually moving the post that way too.
A little bit
Justin,
more.
I would actually say that that's probably acceptable. Let's go just one hit and see what happens. Yeah, so it's wanting to really, it's already moving back out this way.
Okay.
So it really wants to be there. So what we may need to do is get some of that done,
Okay.
because that's putting pressure on this post. So if we try to get this post perfect, it may never get there.
Right.
We'll pound it for the rest of the day. And
Okay.
so
I don't even want to know. 2 for 2?
number 2.
Gosh.
So that's 23 and 5/8.
Let me make a center
20.
mark there.
3 inches and 5/8.
Let me make a center mark, so it's 20 on center. Wow. So I'm gonna measure to the center. So take an 1/8 off of 4. So that should be 20 feet. Yep, 1/4 inch off. So is that because we need to move the post, or because it's racking?
Well, it's not rack. Well,
We don't know that it's
you
not
can't
racking.
move the. Well, but it's not going to rack that much, I don't think. So this needs to come in just a tad.
Okay, so we finally got bit by one of these GRKs that broke. It's too far into the platform and it's cleated, so we're getting no movement on the post, and we're just slightly out on where we want to be. So that kind of sucks. Good news is it's fairly close. Pretty happy.
It's pretty close.
A little bit out.
A little bit. It's a little bit out this, but like with these braces and stuff, we might be able to tap it an 1/8
Yeah.
of an inch.
So the theory is, if the posts are reasonably on the edge of the platform and they're plumb, we're pretty close. If we didn't have a platform to go off of, we would need something to help us establish a square. I have a hunch that if we go up and we measure diagonals in these bays, we'll be really, really close. It's not like we're gonna be off by 2 inches in a diagonal. We're just slowly working through it. We're not working quickly, we're just working really slowly. And then, so we've already done this wall. We ran a string down this wall and brought all the posts in line with each other. And we made sure they're plumb and level. This post is the only exception. Its bottom is kicked out and we needed to bring it in, but the screw is broken. We've done that to that wall. We put the posts on the corners, we ran a string, made sure that post is where it goes. And now that's where we're at here.
Oh yeah, who's good? Just kidding. I'll totally break the next one. I have it coming to me.
Yeah. Who's gonna pound?
36 1/4, looks like.
So we need to go another 1/8. More. Yeah. More. Let's check that.
Check that. That's pretty good. Dang it. I'm not immune. I feel I have good intuition because I saw it coming. I said, this is the one. You can't even feel it break. You just see like, oh, I feel like I'm pulling out a stub.
Yep. Well, let's see if we can move the post. Is there any other screws in it or just the one?
Whoa.
There's one over here too. Looking good. Wow. So now we need to go up into the loft and determine if our ridge beam is square. And I'm thinking the simplest thing to do there too is just check for plumb. Why go all the way up to the ridge beam and measure for square? I mean, if it's plumb, it's in a notch. I mean, you can't move the bottom.
Yeah.
The only thing you could possibly move would be the top. That is where we may have to use a come along or something to pull that triangle kind of square. So let's do that. Wow. That is dead on.
Let's go to line.
Right? Wow.
Call it a success.
Look at that. Also dead on. Man, I don't think it's gonna get, I don't know.
That's
so close.
Pretty good, yeah. I don't think you hit more perfect.
Well, the problem is this level's 6 feet and that post is 20.
Oh, my 8-footer? Well, that post doesn't, I mean, that.
Well, it's like
It's
perfect
straight.
there.
It's so close. I don't think we're gonna improve it.
Yeah.
I mean, we could ratchet and,
Well, we could spend the day getting a hand plane out.
right? Perfect. So close.
Well, we did it. How does it feel to have the frame squared?
I am conservatively optimistic. It felt good. It was a lot easier than I thought, which is good, but I guess I'm gonna hold my judgment until we get the sips up, because it's technically correct, but once the sips are on, I'll feel good about it, because that's what we're really trying to achieve. Yeah, we had some rough goes with the GRKs, which sucked. We managed to work through it. The loft, the ridge beam, was already square out of the gate, so we didn't even have to do anything.
Yay.
So unlike most projects, we get to start something new middle of the day instead of, working until after dark.
The next thing we're gonna do is probably gonna worry a couple of you. We're gonna cut some dado joints in our posts.
Why the heck would we cut a dado in a perfectly good post?
Right? That's what they're saying. We cleaned up our junk wood pile in the garage last night, and wouldn't you know it, we need a piece of scrap wood.
Just like that.
Our dado joints are gonna be 1.25 inches off the platform. So to make things easy, we're gonna rip down a piece of wood to 1.25 inches.
I think we should make it just a hair big, like 30 seconds or maybe more, or even like a 1/16.
So we don't have to like hammer it in there?
Yeah, because that decking is 1.25 on the money.
Yeah. I would think a 32nd would be good. A 16th.
Yeah, I think a 16th is fine. It's a very small gap. So this afternoon we're gonna try to notch or dado joint, might be called a rabbet joint, the bottom of the posts on the frame. And the reason we're doing that is so that when you look up from the living level into the loft, you don't see a gap between the flooring and the post. If we don't notch right here and hide the flooring or conceal the flooring, well, it just looks kind of tacky from down below. I don't think it'll be too much work. We don't need to dado here because the flooring will come over here and it's concealed by this beam. Right. So that will be pretty easy. And of course we have to do this all the way around where the loft decking goes.
If you're wondering if this is gonna threaten the structural integrity of our frame because now we're hacking away at our posts, the answer is no. These posts, to my understanding, are actually significantly over-designed. Jesse said we could probably get away with 4x4s as our posts, but if we did that, we wouldn't have enough space to do our joinery, and that would kind of look puny.
Yeah, in our frame, the reason most of our timbers are 8-inch timbers is not because that's the
size
minimum
required to hold the house up.
Right, it's not the minimum size you need. A lot of it in timber framing in this style comes down to the joinery. A lot of our tenons are 2-inch tenons, so really it's actually dictated by the tenon, not so much by the bearing strength of the timber itself. In this case, because we're going to notch out, but then we're going to slide flooring into that notch, the bearing area of the post essentially won't have changed at all. So there's really no detrimental effects to the frame in doing this. We finally got our flooring back from the sawmill. Yeah, and is it beautiful? Yes.
It's awesome. We brought a test piece up here.
Holy moly.
It looks amazing.
Totally worth it. Sexy. Maybe we're like prejudiced because we made it. We had to wait for our loft decking to come back from the mill because we weren't sure what the thickness would be. If you remember from our loft decking milling videos, we created this loft decking from overrun from creating our beams for the timber frame. But when we weren't really thinking that far ahead, we didn't know we would be using this for our loft decking, so we milled it to a nominal thickness, 1.5 inches. Well, when we sent it to the mill, they have to plane it to make it look nice, so we lost some wood. It turns out, when it came back, it's 1.25 inches, and that's why we were cutting an 1.25 inch board. We're going to use this as a stencil to mark out the posts, and then one of us is going to go around and make a saw kerf about 1/2 inch deep, and then the other person will have to go around with an inch chisel and just reduce that area of the post. Pretty low tech, but I think it's going to be quite a bit of work.
Yeah, I don't think we'll finish today. I think our goal today was just to get started. Every project just takes a while to get going, so I feel like if we can do one tonight or this evening, that would be good.
I know what they're thinking. Cool, so you're gonna make a cut, make some joints, put some boards on, loft.
Of course not. There's always a problem, and we already found our first problem.
A portion of the floor joists have a dovetail tenon, and this was done to hold the bents together during raising. The dovetail alone will keep the bents from falling apart while they put everything else together. But a good portion of our floor joists have a 1-inch stub tenon, and they're fastened to suck the frame together using GRK lag screws. The same GRK lag screws we sucked at this morning. So we've got a bit of an issue with the ones that have the stub tenon.
When we brought our board up here, we realized that some of these floor joists are actually sunken down a little bit. The one on the left is sunken down and the one on the right is raised, but the one on the right we can plane down to make it smooth. This one, however, we're thinking that we're either gonna have to shim it, which means we're probably gonna have to take the screws out, or we're gonna have to shim underneath the board.
The tenon on these, the stub tenon, is actually concealed. It's a ways up from the bottom of the floor joist, so it's not visible from the bottom. We can get a shim under there and everything will look okay from the bottom and from the top. But if we shim only on the top, we'll have a visible gap between the floor joist and the loft boards. Well, if we can get away without doing that, we'd rather do that.
So I think the plan is we're gonna try to back those GRKs out, and if they break off and we can't bump the floor joist up, well, I guess our decision is made for us. Holy crap, these things are freaking huge! That's like the size of my foot.
Yep. They came out.
Yep. Oh, there you go.
It'll be hard because those things want to go straight down in, so I don't know if we
Right.
can lift it high enough in there to
Well,
get a
there's
shim.
GRKs on that one too.
Yep. But you can't rotate it far because the tenon will eventually bottom out, like right there.
That is...
You know, the other option would be to see if we can just put the GRKs in right where
and
we
hold
want it, instead of sucking them in down the way they were. Why don't we try that together?
Okay.
Looks like it didn't quite suck down, did it?
There you go. A little more. Smidgen more. Let's try that. If it sucks in, we're good. If it stays high, then we'll plane some off. That's good. Ha! Perfect. Hey.
So I wonder if we can do that to the ones that are right here at the post.
And try. That one's just bouncing down, so you'll have to find a way to hold it.
Ready?
Yep. That's as high as you're gonna go, so just hold it there. It's a little low still, but there's really no way to get it higher. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Looks good now, but it's not pulled in all the way, so when I pull it in, it might suck it in. Yep, just sucked it right back down.
Weird working with small chisels.
Yeah, do you ever feel like you're hunched over?
Yeah, right. I feel like I'm working on the floor. Well, we were gonna try to knock this out. Looked like there was maybe just a sliver of a chance we could punch it off the list, but these side posts actually are continuous from the bottom down there up to here, and so we kerfed these only once, which won't work. We're going to have to make a top and a bottom kerf, otherwise the chisel will just tear the grain out near that floor joist, which is exactly what Alyssa is experiencing.
That works well because I know you guys really want to see this. And
Yeah.
if it's dark, it's pretty challenging to film.
Yeah, if we can't see, you guys can't see. We can see okay, but the cameras, no. So I did get this one done. It's basically complete. Probably not in focus, but let's try that. There we go. So I got this one pretty much done. It's good enough. These posts over here will be just as easy because they're actually our ridge posts. And so those are already kerfed. Those are good enough. So anyway, we'll have to pick this up tomorrow. Plus we need to get off this loft. It's already pretty sketchy. I guess we'll see you guys tomorrow.